Listen up.
Hi, Lucy. Hi, Kel.
The Lucy and Kel podcast.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the end of the week podcast with Lucy.
Hi.
And Casey.
Yo, yo.
And I am also here. Not here yesterday. Big shout out to Casey and Lucy for holding down the fort so well while I was away, almost as if I'm not required.
Oh, no.
Great job.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We miss your calm, soothing presence.
I will say,
We had fun.
two different atmospheres. When Lucy is away and she asks how the show went, I'm like, oh, it was fine.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah.
When Lucy hosts the show and I'm not there, it's possibly one of the greatest shows she's ever done.
I never said that.
The achievements on the show without you around were quite, well, let's not argue, probably award-winning. And I heard some of the show yesterday and I agree. It was a great show.
Hey, I'm just going to say, today's show on radio, I was on the toilet a few minutes ago.
Wow.
I was on the toilet.
This is the sort of stuff you get to hear on the podcast.
I know, because I would never say that on air.
When you left, and for the amount of time you're away, Casey did say, like Casey and I just here in the studio, not even talking, doing our work, and from out of nowhere, Casey just says, without looking up from the screen, she's on the toilet.
Oh, no, I was talking. Everyday Joy podcast, Ash has got a host out there that's joining her called Stephanie. And I said, hello, nice to meet you. And this girl said, oh, I've met you many times. I was in every production you ever staged at my old church. I used to stage these huge musicals. But I'm looking at her and I said, how old would you have been? She was like, I was a little girl. And I was like, yeah. So we just got chatting about, I said, how many productions did I write that you were in? She goes, 4.
Wow.
But now she's an adult.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's who I was talking to. I wasn't on the toilet that whole time. So anyway, I'm on the toilet. I wasn't.
Well, you did a toot yesterday in front of me, so maybe you're just tooting it in there now.
Guys, you can't say
With a bit
that.
extra toot on top.
Babe. Kel,
Kel's dead.
edit all of this out.
No.
It was there for 1 minute, guys. And I thought, today's radio show, I think, was one of the best we've ever done.
Yeah.
Hands down. Everything. We were talking about International Women's Day. We had someone from Compassion on. We were talking about Melbourne, about the footy, about footy tipping. We were giving gifts to people, to women, handbags, movie tickets. We had an incredible 4-digit Friday, which is our Friday comp. Today's show was every single thing you could ever want in a radio show. And I feel like that I'm so proud of today's show. We've done radio for 17 years and I actually think today was one of the best days. There, I've said it and I thought about it on the loo.
Okay. Wow. That's a profound
so
thought
good.
whilst in the ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Do you do
great.
most
I'm
of
proud
you-
of us. I know what I'm saying is well done, team.
Yeah, even the phones went crazy behind the scenes.
Texts were crazy.
Everyone was so into it and I loved it.
People pouring their hearts out. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
I had fun, and on a Friday, I love the show. But, you know,
Yeah.
you're like, oh,
You're tired.
tomorrow's Saturday. But
Yeah.
today I'm actually like on
Yeah.
fire. I'm excited.
I just Everyday Joy host Ash was saying to me, she listened to the show this morning. She goes, that sounded like a brilliant show. And I said, I've come off the show feeling energized, not tired, which is a sign of a good show.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's
and it
very
sounds
good.
like time well spent in the ladies.
Other updates, I bought Casey and Riley a big housewarming present because they're moving into a new... Kel and I bought Casey and Riley a big housewarming present because they're moving into a new place.
Yay.
And...
I'll be real for a second.
Yeah.
So after picking up the kids from school, my daughter says, who's the big present for? And I said, I don't know.
It has a C and an R on it.
I know, but I'm also highlighting the fact that you're very empathetic and very kind and very loving and always thinking of other people. And I often get associated with that when it's all your hard work. But
I know
think,
it was Lisa.
I think Casey knows that.
Yeah,
I know.
But I bought them a big present and you did not want to accept it. And I was trying to explain when you move into a new place and you're young, people buy you things to set it up.
I know. And lots of people are, but you don't have to.
I know we didn't have to. We wanted to, but it's not a thing we're going to open it on air. You just take it home and open it with your hubby.
All right, I'll send you.
And it's not silly. It's not like a SpongeBob SquarePants thing because I know I have traditionally done that.
That's in my house right now. I unpacked it.
This is a lesson, guys, in not speaking before you figure out the details, because I know what the present was, but I didn't know that Casey hasn't opened the present yet, so I was about to talk about the present. Isn't that great?
Thank you.
That I found out in real time that you actually haven't opened the present yet.
And I wanted to go get this and I kept forgetting for a few days, and so yesterday I was like, oh, I've got to go get it, and I went and got it, and guess what? It was on sale, which I was willing to buy at full price, but on sale I was like, there you go. Amazing.
That is, meant to be.
And it's a big box too.
Yep.
So, Good luck
know
with
what it
opening
is.
that.
Big box. I know.
I
You know.
know.
What it is.
Have a guess. We won't react. Turn around, Lucy. Turn
Well,
around.
I was talking to you the other day that I needed a toaster, kettle, and a washing machine. If that's a washing machine, that's amazing. It's very portable, but that's a tiny washing machine. I don't think it's a toaster or a kettle because I was explaining someone else might get it.
Yes.
So it must be like when I open it, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I needed this and I didn't know. And Lucy's going to be like, I know everything and I knew you'd need this and you didn't even think of it.
I feel that's fair.
I wouldn't
the
buy you
vibe.
the toaster and a kettle even though I wanted to because
Okay.
you said your auntie was.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wouldn't step on your auntie's feet, toes. But this thing, I'll just say this, I'll preface this. I know you're all about clean eating, clean cooking, all of this kind of stuff, right? So this is something that I think can just keep you on your journey of something that you like that I think you will want to have control
Bread
over.
box.
No, I think you just see it. You'll understand when you see it.
I don't think if you just kept guessing, I still don't think you get it.
No. Is it a necessity? No. but
Containers?
I'm not going to tell you.
You'll find out when you open it.
out.
Why isn't she opening it up?
Because it's for her and Riley.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure,
Who
sure.
cares? He doesn't care. I can open it if you want. I don't care.
No, I don't want you to take
Okay.
it home and open it. In your house. Be like house
He'll be
people.
watching footy. Doesn't matter.
Anyway.
Well, speaking of this, I, as a man, need to acknowledge that this weekend coming up, as you listen to this podcast now, it might be the weekend. It may even be International Women's Day. We are touching on that in the podcast later on, but it would be unfitting of me not to give you some more time to talk about women in general, Lucy, if you'd like to, before we wrap up this portion of the podcast.
It is the tradition here for me to do a speech every year. I don't know how it started. I just one year wanted to make an impassioned plea and then I did the next and then the next. And that was the thing I look forward to doing. And I've done speeches towards men. I've done speeches towards my daughter. Today I did one for all the little girls listening because we have lots of little girl listeners. And so I wanted to do a speech for them. And I really enjoyed doing that. I think it's really important to remind ourselves just how far away we are from equality. Even with 100 years, they say we won't reach gender full parity. And that means everything equal, let alone things like pay, let alone things like the most displaced women and the most underprivileged in the world are women. Healthcare, education, pay, parliament, of course, goes without saying the amount of women who are murdered every day around the world from even intimate partners. The stats are absolutely horrifying. But you can't turn away from them. You can't pretend it's not happening. It's just because we live in a privileged country, which still has a long way to go in many of these ways. But we can't turn away from these stats. And I don't say them to scare people or make people feel bad, but I want people to think, and I want people to think about the small things they can do in their lives to empower women, to raise women up, even to let little girls know that they are worthy, that they are enough, that they are strong, that they are powerful, that they have a voice and that they should use it. These are just little things in society that I think is really important for all of us to keep thinking about, talking about, and I love it when men get behind it. And my husband has been the most incredible champion. Kel and I have been friends for nearly 2 decades and he has championed me here so much as a friend. And it's so powerful when men don't do the whole, well, where's International Men's Day? But they actually go, yes, it's International Women's Day. We love women and we're going to do our best to be better, to raise our sons better for a better world. There is nothing better when men do that.
Well, speaking as a man, it's International Men's Day every day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And secondly, if you want to hear the address to the nation, it will be the final thing we play at the end of the podcast today, which is good news.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy supporting women on International Women's Day.
Yeah.
My wife said, could she buy something online? And I said, sure, babes.
Yeah.
Celebrating International Women's Day this weekend.
The Lucy and Kel podcast.
International Women's Day is around the corner, 8th of March. And you all know it is a day that I am so passionate about on air every single year. We talk about it. I often do my little International Women's Day speech to my daughter. And it can be a day where we dream about the future, especially as women, what can be, what should be. But for millions of girls growing up around the world, in places not like Australia, in places of abject poverty, dreaming about the future is just not that simple. It is a privilege to be able to do that. And for so many girls, it's not a lack of ambition, it's a lack of opportunity. And so for this International Women's Day, we are joined by someone very wonderful from Compassion Australia because they are highlighting the life-changing power of education for girls around the world. Joining us is their communications specialist, Sidhara. Now, I hope I get this right. Udalagama. Good morning, Sidhara. Was I correct?
Good morning, Lucy. You are almost correct. That was very good. It's just a different inflection. It's Udalagama. But
Udalagama.
listen,
Right.
you're there. You were there.
I had the heart behind it. Sidhara, you recently returned to your home country of Sri Lanka, and you were struck by the contrast between the opportunities maybe you had and what's occurring, and with your work in compassion, you would see the disparity right around the world. Tell me a little bit about that trip and what it reignited in you, I guess.
Yeah, had the privilege of going back to Sri Lanka in October last year. Now, I go back to Sri Lanka often. My parents still live there, so I was born and raised there. So that was nothing new. But what was different about this trip is that it was the first time that I got to go and see the work of compassion firsthand in the country that I was born and raised in. And that was pretty remarkable. I grew up in Colombo. It was the capital of Sri Lanka. I grew up with such privilege, having resources, a family that believed in me. I grew up with a younger brother. There was never a difference between the education that was afforded me or my brother. We were both encouraged to dream big. And then I was taken to a local child development center that is probably about half an hour from where I grew up, say 45 in traffic. The traffic in Sri Lanka is bad. So let's just say 45 minutes from where I grew up. And I was introduced to a group of girls, and they grew up in circumstances that were very different to me. They grew up in extreme poverty, and they didn't have the resources. They had no one encouraging them about a future. I think what really struck me was just that kilometers away from where I grew up, there were children, there were girls facing barriers that I never had to face. Poverty limits choice, it narrows vision, and it silences possibility long before those dreams have a chance to form. And that's what struck me about these girls. And they grew up in a way that I never had to think about survival. But these girls, that's all they think about. And when survival is the priority, dreaming of a brighter future is just out of reach.
Yeah, you wouldn't even think about dreaming about it, because every day is a struggle to stay alive. You're not going, why do I want to be in 5 years? You're literally like, how can I get some food? What do I have to do to survive the next 24 hours? I know a lot of people who work at Compassion. I've known many over the years. I know people are unbelievably passionate. You don't work at a not-for-profit like Compassion without having a big beating heart for justice. But I can imagine for you, working there, loving what you do is one thing, but then to go to your own country with your own people in your own culture and see what you had and what nowadays girls are still battling. I bet that was extremely confronting for you.
It was extremely confronting. And I think what struck me the most was that it was just so close. We're not talking about, villages and communities apart. We're talking about just a few kilometers down the road. And barriers like poverty, they just keep girls out of education. And I know that's what we're here to talk about today, is education really being a key to helping girls dream about that brighter future, but not just dream, but actually put strategies and plans in place to get there. And when I went to Sri Lanka and these girls that I met, that's what I saw. I love something about Compassion's program. It's called My Plan for Tomorrow. And every child at about 12, they get to do this exercise. And this is so important because poverty, it's not just about material things. Poverty really affects every single aspect of a child's life. So that's spiritual, it's physical, it's mental, and it's socio-emotional. So when you think about a child who grows up in poverty, exactly like you were saying, Lucy, survival becomes the priority. So dreaming of a brighter future isn't even on the cards. And so this exercise, this plan actually tries to get them to think about a future that is beyond what they can see. And this happens from about the age of 12. And they get to do this exercise every year. And you can see the transformation that happens at about 15, 16. They start to say things like, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. These girls that I met, they showed me their My Plan for Tomorrow workbooks, and they showed me the progression of how they started and where they're at now. And these girls are now like 18, 19, 20, and they're like, we're planning to be an HR consultant. And the amazing thing is they're taking exams. Compassion, the local partners there, are helping them on their way to actually achieving these dreams with education and with support.
That's what we love about Compassion, being on the front lines and helping in a really practical way. And I know a lot of us sitting back here in Australia, we have a lot of misconceptions sometimes about the developing areas of the world. But I would love to know, in regards to the fact that I know Compassion speak about this and other organisations speak of this as well, that it's not just benefiting the young women when they get an education. They're also benefiting their family, the area in which they live, the country of where they're from.
The world is benefiting.
The world.
Yeah, like it's micro to macro, isn't it?
Absolutely. I love that question, Kara. And it is true. When you educate a young girl, it doesn't just change their life, it changes their family's life and their communities and their countries. And yes, Lucy, also the world. But the sad thing is, Kel, that right now there are 122 million girls around the world that are out of school. I saw a statistic the other day. There's nearly 50 million adolescent girls and young women who are unable to read or write a simple sentence. And I don't know about you, but to me, those statistics are mind-blowing. They actually make me a little bit angry because I think it just should not be that way. I think, Lucy, you and I are on the same wavelength. I'm like, that just shouldn't be the way that the world is. But unfortunately, that is the sad reality of the world. When you talk about education actually changing a girl's life, we had a staff conference the other week. I met a colleague of mine from the Philippines, Rowie, and she is actually a former Compassion graduate. So she went through the Compassion program in the Philippines. She grew up in extreme poverty, but through the Compassion program, she was able to have a very different future. She was able to get access to medical care, education. She actually went on to pursue a degree, a Bachelor of Science at a university in the Philippines. And the most amazing part is that she now works for the fundraising arm of Compassion Philippines. Like, what a full circle story. And she's married now. She has a little boy called Zeke, and that little boy is not growing up in poverty. They have broken the cycle of poverty in their lives. And now Zeke and generations to come after Zeke will have a different future. They'll have a brighter future because we have educated Rowie, and Rowie is now part of the agency of change for her family, but also the society that she lives in.
I jumped on the International Women's Day website. There's two. There's the United Nations one, which is a different version of the commercialised website, but the commercialised IWD website this year, their hashtag is Give to Gain. That's what they're running with this year, and it's about giving to charities or not-for-profits or organisations that further the causes of females in the world. And I just thought, how brilliant. I mean, there's so much great work being done by many not-for-profits, but I know Compassion is unbelievably passionate about furthering girls and women overseas. So if you do want to get behind Compassion for International Women's Day, give to gain, because look, when you give, we're gaining an entirely different world with empowered little girls and women. It's the only way we're going to change this planet. Jump on Compassion's website. There's many different ways you can get involved, especially for an important day like today. Sidhara, thank you so much for your time and your passion and your energy for something that I know for me and many women and men listening is such an important part of our lives.
Oh, Lucy and Kel, thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure to talk to you this morning.
The Lucy and Kel podcast. You're going to love this next bit. Oh, spoiler alert.
It's time to talk AFL.
Here comes Bunny, wheels around, gathers the football. He's kicked a miracle. He's put it through to the outside of the boot, running to the wrong pocket. Oh, can you believe that?
Dennis Cometti will never be bested, and Lucy wants to talk AFL.
He just passed away.
A wonderful human being as well. Not just a commentator, a wonderful human being.
Yeah, I was watching a video with another radio show that were very close to him, and they were talking about what an incredible man he was.
Indeed.
So that's so sad. AFL.
Have you had a blow to the head?
I have, because why do I care suddenly about all of this stuff? What's going on? Is it perimenopause? Things you hate, you now love. Things you love, you now hate.
Do you think at AFL House they have stats and spreadsheets and they're like, when women hit perimenopause, that's when we've got them?
They hate us until then, and then they're like, you know what? Okay, fine.
Go the Tigers!
It's all that perimenopausal rage. We can just kind of feel it.
Oh, you could channel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, here you go.
Don't take me to the footy. I might be escorted out, booted out.
I've been to the footy, and perimenopause and the footy supporters that I've seen at the footy kind of line up.
Yeah. I have got a theory about footy. I've started tipping.
You started a footy tipping competition with half an hour to go before the Swans took on Carlton for the 2026 season.
Yeah,
and in real life, my wife is yelling from the lounge room going, hurry up with your tips, you've got 15 minutes left. I'm like, what is going on?
What is my name on the tipping comp, though?
I don't know.
Casey, tell Kel my name on the footy.
Well, we'll have to
comp.
bring her up.
Yes.
Welcome to the show officially, Producer Casey.
What's my little name when you log into our little tipping thing? What is my name?
Lucy hates footy.
Okay. So are you doing it passive aggressively? What are you doing?
I think so. I think so. But I didn't do well last night. My first tip bombed out.
You picked Carlton.
I picked Carlton.
They lost by about 60 points.
Because I thought, you know what, they sound like a good team. Because I don't know much about footy. So
Okay, it's going to be a long season.
But I got a theory about footy. Hear me out. I got a theory and I want to test it. You know how you float things? You do like the pub test or whatever you do. You test it. What do they test and learn? I'm doing a test and learn live on air.
Right.
Everybody, generally, has a footy team. It's your number one. So, for example, my
it's a bold
team...
theory so far.
Oh, she's clever.
Everyone selects one team to barrack for.
Okay, now listen. So, for example, I'm Hawthorn, right? And then this is my theory.
Yeah.
Everyone has a secondary team. What? Wait, I haven't even gone into why I think that is.
I have a theory. Everyone has a secondary team, isn't really following AFL.
No, that's completely incorrect. Completely. Can you at
That's
least
your incorrect for me.
Can you let me talk?
Okay.
You can bring Casey's mic up as well because I'm
All
going to
right,
run this
welcome back
past
to the
her.
show, Casey.
Casey, just before I go into my theory, quickly, you have a team?
Yes.
And that team is?
Essendon.
Do you have a secondary team?
Yes.
And that team is?
Geelong.
There you go.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So 100% of people surveyed right now have a team and a secondary team. But this is my theory. Everyone has a team and a secondary team. And if you're a good person, your secondary team should be your partner's team if they have a different team. Because you love your partner so much, you want their team to win because it's just happy days all around. So in theory, I feel like my team should be Hawthorn. My secondary team should be the Saints because Kelly is a Sainter.
All right, a couple of things. First, a statement. I am a long-suffering, proud to put that as the prefix, long-suffering Saints supporter for about 46 years.
Yep.
I think I started barracking when I was about 3. I would not wish supporting the Saints on anybody. So I don't want to have you go through the misery
But
that I've
it's a
been
secondary team. I don't really care.
through. All right. Secondarily, isn't Hawthorn kind of like a secondary team for you because you don't really pay attention to Hawthorn in the first
offensive.
place? Okay.
Please don't muddy the waters. My theory is you have a secondary team. Now, sometimes it might have been a childhood team, then you grew up, chose your proper team, but you still have a fondness for the secondary team. I think that's it. Like, to be completely honest, my secondary team isn't the Saints because it isn't. My secondary team probably is either the Lions because I'm from Brisbane or the Demons because I used to barrack for the Demons. But everyone has a secondary team and you love your main team, but then when your secondary team plays, you're kind of like, yeah, go as well.
Firstly, for people that take this seriously, what happens when your first team comes up against your secondary team?
Everyone's a winner, baby. That's no lie.
Okay.
Because you're like, go my boys, but also go my secondary boys.
All right.
Or girls.
I see that. All right. And
AFL
what are
W.
your requirements for barracking for a secondary team?
You just need to secretly be happy for them.
If they win.
All
right. And for the person that you care
don't
about.
own any merchandise.
No
if you own
merchandise.
merchandise, that's the primary team.
Do you?
No merchandise. But if you're having if you're down the pub, not that any of our listeners are like that. Wait.
They might be having a Parmesan.
If you're at church
Right.
and you're an Essendon supporter and you're chatting to someone and for Casey's, for example, and she's like, who's your team? And they go Geelong. She goes, oh, I love Geelong. That's what Casey would say.
Do you, when you get to the end of the season, if your first team has come in 13th,
Yes.
but your secondary team is in the grand final,
Yeah. That's
just
when you
claim
go.
them as
you go hard.
Right.
Yeah, you go hard, but you can't own the merch.
Okay.
This-
But you don't tell everybody that they're your secondary team; they become your first team.
This is faultless.
I don't
This
know
is
about that.
faultless, and I think I'm right. I feel like I'm onto something that no one's ever talked about. Let's go to the phones and find out if I'm correct. Rose and Doreen, do you have a secondary team?
Yes, so I'm St Kilda, and now I've gone to the Doggies, but I still have a soft spot for St Kilda.
See, that's it. Again, if you change teams, the team you leave behind will still be your secondary.
The fact that you refer to the Bulldogs as the Doggies, Rose, means you're in.
She's in. She's
and you're
in.
a huge supporter.
See, secondary team. Ding. Proof in point. Emily and Bannockburn, do you have a secondary team?
I do. My first team's Geelong,
Yes.
and my secondary team's actually the team that my father left when he shouldn't have as an adult. But he was an Essendon supporter, and then he moved to Geelong and fell in love with Gary Ablett Sr., and now I am Geelong, but Bombers are my secondary team.
Okay.
But go the mighty Cats.
I get it.
The greatest
So again,
team
I
of
said
all.
sometimes it can be something emotional, like your partner's team. For her, it's her dad's team. Perfect.
Excellent
Proof and
work.
point. 2 out of 2. Julia goes, morning. My first team is Essendon, and my secondary team is Hawthorn because I used to love Sam Mitchell, and I still do.
Yes, one of the great players for the team that you follow, Lucy.
Love him.
Of course, some might say he was.
The best ruckman we've ever seen. He's not a ruckman?
No.
What is a ruckman? No, don't tell me, I don't care. Amanda in Bandura says, you are 100% correct, Lucy. I have a secondary team, which is my husband's team, Hawthorn. When they win, he is happy, which means I'm happy. That's my theory.
The atmosphere changes.
That's my theory. I feel like you want your partner's team to win so that they have a good weekend. Because you see those people when their team wins and they're miserable. And I'm like, dudes, it's just dudes in little shorts kicking a ball through sticks. Like, calm down. Like, don't be upset. Come on.
On International
Anyway.
Women's Day weekend, I'd also like to point out that the ladies play football as well.
I understand that.
So it's not just dudes.
No, of course not.
Far be it from me.
Elizabeth goes, my favourite team was the Lions because my dad and pa took me to the games, but my second team is the Cats because I love cats.
The Mighty Cats. The greatest team of all.
Hannah goes, I have 2 teams for the AFL because I love, she says AFLM, and then she goes AFL men. Yes, if we're going to have AFLW, we have AFLM.
Okay.
Hannah, that is the kind of attitude on International Women's Day that I love, and I'm going to call the AFL AFLM from now on forever. I'm going to try that. And people go, what's that? I'm going to go, well, the men's division, duh. Hannah, I love you. Send her a prize. Send her a prize. Listener of the week. Send her a prize.
I was already celebrating.
Okay, she is a Legacy Crows supporter because of her family, but she has a different team for the women, Carlton. So there you go. Again, we've not even talked about that. Do you have to like the female team of the male team or vice versa, or can you like Essendon with the blokes and then Collingwood with the ladies?
So many questions.
That's another question I've not even asked. Also, finally, Pete has sent a good one. He goes, I agree, everyone has their team and everyone has a secondary team. It's the one playing Collingwood every week.
He's not wrong.
Boom tish.
He's not entirely wrong.
Boom tish, Pete.
The Lucy and Kel podcast.
International Women's Day. And it's tradition for me here on the Lucy and Kel show to read something I've written. Over the years, I've written and read letters to the men. Last year, I read a letter to my daughter. But today, I want to read a letter to all the little girls listening to the light right now. So this one is for you, my girls. You might not know it yet, but the world you're growing up in is still learning how to see you properly. Right now, women around the world still earn about 20% less than men. Women also carry almost 3 times more unpaid work. The caring, the cooking, the quiet things that keep families and communities going. Women hold only 27% of seats in Parliament around the world, where the biggest decisions are made. Women globally have only about 64% of the legal rights that men have. Women make up the majority of people living in extreme poverty. And perhaps the hardest truth of all, in the past year alone, 316 million women experienced violence from a partner. And at the rate the world is moving right now, it could take more than 100 years to reach full gender equality. But here's the thing. The world is changing because women keep changing it. In the last 30 years alone, over 1,500 laws have been introduced to improve equality. More girls are in school than ever before, and maternal deaths have dropped dramatically. So progress is happening slowly. But little girls, we still need you. We need your ideas. We need your courage. We need your kindness. We need your leadership. We need your voices, and we need your passion to right all of these wrongs. And if anyone ever tells you that you are too loud or too emotional or too ambitious or too much, just remember, every single step forward in history was made by a woman who refused to become less. So, dream big, speak up, take your seat at the table. If there is no seat at the table, grab a seat and drag it to the table. And know this, little girls, listen to this. You are not just the future, you are right now. And my prayer is one day you'll realise something really powerful. You are not just a girl. You are exactly what the world needs right now. We love you and we believe in you, girls. So happy International Women's Day.
The Lucy and Kel Podcast.
And dare I say it, the end of another successful podcast. Well podcasted, Luce.
Thank you very much. Great day, great potty, great people, great vibes, great life.
And well podcasted, Casey.
She's done.
I'm trying to one up you.
She's got nothing.
I want to say again, very much a thank you to you, Lucy, and to you, Casey.
Again?
Well, I wanted to say something else.
Oh.
We have a little thing at our meeting that I didn't have to attend yesterday because I was away. What a shame. And at the end of that meeting, you say nice things about people. And Casey said nice things about me without me even being there.
I told him.
Yeah. Oh, you did.
Which I
wasn't going to say anything.
Which I actually did to Casey the week before. She had to leave halfway through a meeting, and I said nice things about Casey.
Oh.
So what I think should happen next week, Casey, is you and I should leave, and then Lucy could say nice things about us together.
No one in this triangle has said nice things about me.
Babe, say that, rethink, and then say
I
again.
just said thank you for yesterday.
Cal thanks you every second meeting, and then I thank you in the other meetings he doesn't thank you in. You are thanked every day.
I thanked her in the meeting too yesterday, by the way.
I think Casey is finding less and less reason to put up with your rubbish.
I think she's getting a little mouthy.
I'm getting comfortable.
She's getting a little mouthy.
International Women's Weekend.
Slay
She's
Batty
allowed
Queen.
to speak her mind.
No, that's all right. Like I said, I realised Casey and I reached a new level of friendship when I accidentally tooted in front of her and we both fell on the floor laughing. And I was like, well, this is a first.
And on that bombshell, quite literally, it's time to wrap up the podcast for this week. Have a great long weekend if you can get one, everybody. And until we meet again on Tuesday of next week.
Well, that's all for now. But you can download more podcasts anytime or catch Lucy and Kel live weekday mornings from 6 till 10 on 89.9 The Light.
This is the end bit. This is the end bit.
Woo!
This is the end bit of the show.
And bit.